Welcome to Planet of NY Sports. Here we talk Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets, and a little bit of the Knicks and Nets. So let's get this alert going because I think you know what we're going to talk about.
This is Channels Television's breaking news.
Well, so today, Justin Verlander has signed with your New York Mets. 2 years, $86 million. Rodrick, instant reactions.
It's pretty meh. We got somebody to replace DeGrom, but I'm not overly happy about it. I'm glad he's here though. We need the reinforcements. Coming off of Cy Young, it's not a horrible contract. It's not awfully long, so we'll take it. I'm not head over heels, but I'm glad he's here.
Yes, for sure. So if you're the Mets, you kind of had to do this at this point. Once DeGrom left, we all agreed, they have no choice but to sign Verlander or Rodon now. Do I think they're going to sign Rodon now? I mean, they can get both. They have the money to. Are they going to do it though? We never know. But I think a guy like probably Senga now is probably, more reasonable for the Mets. I think he will come here because, now you're looking at the rotation. It's Verlander, Scherzer, Carrasco, and then who else?
Just say McGill.
Yeah, that's just it basically. So you're still going to need like two more starters, if anything. So I think the Mets, Senga, I don't know who they're going to get after that. Rodon would be nice, but I don't see them signing all these starting pitchers. So, Rodrick, who do you think the Mets should get after this?
Brandon Nimmo. I think that Senga will take a while to make his decision, and we should go after Nimmo. He's been our center fielder. He's a cornerstone of this team. The clubhouse likes him, or loves him, I should say. We need to re-sign Nimmo. I think that should be the next biggest focus for the Mets moving forward.
Yep, for sure. So, anyways, like I said, how do you how have you processed this? Does this feel like, how would you rate this move on a scale of like A+ to an F?
I give it a solid B+. It's like out of 100, it's like an 88, 89 because yes, you're getting a Cy Young winner. Yes, you're getting a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's 38. He's coming off of a great year, but he did have He did have Tommy John a couple of years ago, so you worry about his durability and how he's going to pitch because as you get older, velocity goes down. People get to see you more. After a while, you just kind of fizzle out, and I'm just hoping that doesn't happen with him. On a rating scale, it's obviously a good move, but again, it's not something I'm gonna, come to school and just start yelling across the halls about. Like it happened. You know what I'm saying? It's all right.
Yeah, and just to correct you there, Verlander is going to be 40 to start the season. He's going to be 40. So this is something. This guy can just drop off at any time. That's the thing with him. Now, if you want to
50.
Yeah, if we want to look at the stats here, so we know we won the Cy Young last year. All right, cool. I have the stats up here: 18 wins, 4 losses, with a 1.75 ERA. So he had a great year, really great year. Postseason, it wasn't, except when he played against the Yankees, of course, and then what was that? Game 5 against the Phillies. He actually, had a
locked in. Russell? Is he? Oh, damn. That sucks.
On here. I don't know what's going on there. So we just had a lagging issue for some reason. But anyways, I digress. This is I wouldn't even say it's risky at this point because it's only for 2 years. He originally did want a 3-year deal. That's just not happening. But since he's getting like 43 million a year, that changes things, obviously. So if you're the Mets now, you need to get another starter. You need to re-sign Nimmo, or there's another outfielder they are interested in. Rodrick, you want to tell me who that is?
Andrew Benintendi. Sorry, excuse me. We've been looking at him, according to some sources. We've been, rummaging around and just doing our due diligence, making sure every rock is not, unturned, and just taking a couple looks. I think I'm so sorry. I think Benintendi would be nice. Lefty bat, good defender, plus arm, especially with the right field fence moving in. Short porch, love to see that. I'm sorry, so sorry. But yeah, he'd be a nice bat to have, especially if Nimmo does leave. We can move Marte to center, or you could put Benintendi in center if you really wanted to. So it's nice depth to have. What would it take in a trade? I don't know, but it'd be a nice move to make.
Yeah, for sure. So, Rodrick, there was an interesting stat here about Verlander and Scherzer you wanted to talk about.
So, yeah, the Mets will now have two, not one, but two, 38-plus short pitchers making a crap ton of money, put it lightly. I don't really like it. I gotta get this off my chest. I really don't like how we're having a lot of older pitchers, past their prime pitchers, taking their vacation, putting their vacation over Florida, down in Jupiter, and just I don't know. It just feels like it has no direction. Like if you look at the Mets, right? Scherzer, old. Verlander, old. Carrasco, old. At some point, age does catch up. Father Time is definitely undefeated. I worry when this does catch up. I worry when it matters the most, like we saw in the wild card game, Scherzer, 5 home runs. Like you worry if age is a factor when it comes to those later innings. Like you can't have these guys go 200 innings a year, expecting them to be like DeGrom or Alcantara or Nola or Wheeler or McCullers, and you can't expect these guys to perform. At some point it will catch up, and I'm just hope it doesn't happen anytime soon or anytime in a big spot.
Yeah, exactly. So like you could see the tweet here. So the Mets are going to pay $87 million to Max Scherzer and Verlander, and then so there's 6 teams that opened up with the payroll below that. That is something. And these two guys, like Rodrick said, Father Time is undefeated. And knowing that, they can have a drop-off at any time and with their innings in a big spot, in the postseason, are we really confident that Max Scherzer and DeGrom are going to, get it done next year? I'm not so sure. I don't know if I can say that. We already saw Scherzer's disastrous start against the Padres. We saw how that went. We saw Verlander. He wasn't very good in the postseason either last year. So, now you got these two old guys. I'm just not sure. I would give this I'd give it a B. I would give it a B because it was a move they had to make. So I'm not going to give them
I would give them a C. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not going to give them like an A-, because they had to do this move.
It's not a great move, but it's also not a bad move. It's just in that middle tier, and it's
you had no choice. Once DeGrom walked, you had no choice. You kind of had to make this move.
I can't sing your praises if you're just making a move that you have to make. Like I'm not pat you on the back for that. No.
Mm-hmm. Now, if it was like Rodon, on the other hand, I would have said A+, but now, Verlander, okay, cool. You still got other needs on the team that you got to fill now. Like Rodrick said, Nimmo or Benintendi and another outfielder. Who knows? They also still have to improve the bullpen, get a good lefty reliever in here. So Rodrick, who's that lefty reliever?
Andrew Chafin. We've been linked to him. We've been talking to him. We've been talking to him and Ottavino, and really, that's the only 2 guys I really want as of right now. Like the rest of the bullpen is pretty much shored up. If you can get back Ottavino, you get Chafin, and they have Diaz. That's a 3-headed monster that I don't think most teams really want to face. So I'm pretty good. I'm pretty content with getting those 2 guys and re-signing them back up.
Yeah, Ottavino, he had a really good year last year. Had a 2.06 ERA, 79 strikeouts. He had a bounce back year because when he was with the Red Sox, he wasn't very good. But then he came to the Mets, and he had a great year for his standards. That was a really great year. He was with the Yankees. First year he was good. that until the playoffs, and then second year, we're not going to talk about that. But Ottavino is definitely a guy the Mets should re-sign, and then Chafin, get him too. That'll make this offseason, and losing Jacob deGrom, it'll make it hurt a little less, but still, it's still going to sting for Met fans. But Rodrick, just going on to that now, how do you feel now, about Jacob deGrom?
I have words, not nice words, but it doesn't hurt as much as it did when it first happened. Like when it first happened, obviously you all saw the rant video. That video is doing pretty well because you guys like to see me mad, but I digress. I'm not that mad about it. It's something that happened. I'm not going to dwell over it. We just got to move forward, and that's what the Mets are doing, signing Verlander and looking at other guys. They're not going to let deGrom hamper what they do. They're not going to overreact to that. They got Verlander, like you said, some of the move they needed to make, and they made it. So, just moving forward, you got to shore up the needs, Like I said, Nimmo, the bullpen, Benintendi even possibly. Like, do what you have to do and do it before someone else does it for you. Because we're not getting into a situation like other teams where you get outbid. We're the Mets, the Yankees. Well, I don't have time to get bid out by the gosh darn Rockies for Brandon Nimmo. Like, I'm not. That's not acceptable. You have Steve Cohen. All right, spend the money. It's smart. Spend the money.
Richest owner in baseball.
Yeah.
So
might want you to spend some of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, just putting it up here, Rodrick, is there any more players you would possibly want besides the ones we already listed?
I want everyone. Just being frankly, I want everyone. But let's be realistic here. Probably not going to get Reynolds. Probably not going to get Benintendi unless, whatever happens with him. Honestly, I want Nimmo. I really like Nimmo. Nimmo seems like a player that if he stays with the Mets, he's a guy that you can put his number in the rafters. Like you can put that 9 up there if he stays because he's a great defender, nice speed, doesn't steal, but he has nice speed, good contact back, good guy who puts the ball. That's all you really ask. I really ask for. Put the ball in play, no strikeouts, Judge, and just do your job. Like that game against the Dodgers, we made that catch. I said, I lost my mind because he's just such a complete 5-2 player, and you can't let those guys slip out of your lineup. Lefty back, get him back. Got Diaz back. That's nice. Go get some help. Go resign Avino. Go get Chafin. Go get some bats too because this lineup is, 1 through 4, 1 through 5 is pretty nice. Nimmo, hopefully resign him. Marte, Lindor, Alonso, McNeil. Great. Lovely. But after that, Escobar is kind of iffy. Guillorme, yeah. Canna, he had some stretches. McCann, oh my God. Oh my God. If I had $1 for every time this guy swung an outside slider, I'd be rich. All right. I'd be swimming in cash right now. Nito, he has when his runners in scoring position. Oh yeah, Nito's the greatest of all time. But there's nobody on. He's not really that great. So I'm just hoping that some of the prospects can really make a step too. That's another thing we need to talk about. Look at the Yankees with their prospect situation. You talk about it, ad nauseum, how they just don't really play their prospects. And like with the Mets, you have Vientos who came up, hit his first big league home run. Beatty went deep. Alvarez who had a stint at the end there. If those guys can come up and make big league impacts, you go get the bullpen shirt up. You go get maybe Senga, or you maybe go get some other, middle of the rotation, starters. This team could compete for a championship. I don't know if I bet money on it because the Astros are still really good. Dodgers, Braves, the Phillies, if they get Trey Turner, they'll be loaded. But this team could push, and it's not one of those teams I feel like the Guardians, for example, where they need everything to break right. They need the pitchers to pitch out of their mind. They need the batter. Oh my gosh. They need the hitters to hit above what they should be hitting. I know that sounds harsh, but you gotta make some moves. You gotta shore up your holes, and you gotta make sure that you're gonna be able to compete and not get bounced out in the freaking wild card round.
Okay.
Wait. Hold on. Let me just. Okay. Sorry. My bad. My bad.
Anyways, going back on to like what you said about Nimmo and stuff. So here's the thing. Even like, with Benintendi, that's nice and all, but there's no like, Rodon / Verlander equivalent to like with Nimmo at center field, because Benintendi, he's like a left fielder. So, unless you're gonna plan to play someone out of position or something, there's no real backup plan at center field. So I think that would be very good for the Mets to just re-sign Nimmo, because let's say he walks, goes to Colorado or something. You're kind of, you'll be like, we can sign Benintendi, but you're not going to have,
You're not
good
talent that was once there.
Exactly. And he's not Nimmo. He's not Nimmo.
It's definitely a downgrade.
And like Nimmo at defense and stuff like that. If you just can't afford to lose that if you're the Mets.
I just say Gold Glove caliber center fielder, and you're gonna let him walk to the Rockies, like
that'd be
the Rockies
getting outbid by the Rockies. If you're the Mets, you cannot let that happen.
I understand if it's the Dodgers or the Yankees, the Rockies. Colorado, are we being serious right now? Are we having a legitimate conversation? Like
the same team that paid $50 million for the Cardinals to take on Nolan Arenado.
That's what we're becoming right now. That's the Mets. No, not letting that happen. I will take Brandon Nimmo myself. And oh my gosh.
And what are you gonna do?
For legal reasons, I'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna get some Met fan reactions here. So I'm just reading some comments. So one fan says, in May and June, it will be an absolute win. Huge question if it will be one come October. And that's what we've been discussing. That's what we've been discussing here. Because, regular season, I expect the Mets to come out, hot out of the, Verlander, his arm's going to be good. Scherzer, his arm should be better, but we're not sure. I don't really know. But if, if Mad Max, is regular season Mad Max, through the first 2 months, then we know the Mets are going to come out hot. And that'll be nice. Okay, cool. But here's the thing. October is what matters here. October. So if you're the Mets, seriously, like I said, you can even argue maybe they should make a 6-man rotation, or have some, not like every single week. I'm not saying that, but just have, a spot starter there available each time, just in case, to kind of save Verlander and Scherzer's arms. Because you don't want to get, Scherzer, dead arm, 2 years in a row. We're not going to get into him. And then Verlander, he's going to be 40 to start the year. He can, be Randy Johnson when he was with the Yankees. And that was a disaster. That can very well be.
Shut up.
It's true. I'm just listing possibilities.
But I don't want to hear.
It's true. It's we don't know what we're getting here. Well, no, we will know in October. That's when we'll know, in a big spot. We're regular season. If they start pitching well, okay, fine. We don't care about that though.
It's expected. The Mets. The goal isn't to, or the expectation isn't just to make the playoffs. The expectation is to make the playoffs and win a series, or win 2 series.
This year they need to. I would probably say NLCS. Considering I would have even said last year or last season NLCS too, but now they couldn't even get out of the wild card.
Just talking to Mets fans around me, the goal was the NLCS. Even Showalter, you saw what he did with DeGrom in the whole Scherzer situation, who started Game 1. They weren't expecting to get bounced out. I mean, nobody is, but they knew they had a good chance to make a deep run. If you thought the Padres were a serious threat, you're starting DeGrom Game 1. You're gonna go win the first game of that series. And I hope now he won't make that same mistake with JV or Scherzer. But hey, we're the Mets, man. I know we're not the Yankees. I know we're not the Dodgers. We gotta start becoming the big market team that we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. And then
this little brother complex. We're like the Clippers and the Yankees and Lakers. F that, all right? None of that, all right? Get that garbage out of here.
Okay, so going back onto that point, that is very true. Showalter, he can't afford to mess around. Whoever's having the better year between Scherzer or Verlander, I would probably just go Verlander Game 1 anyway.
I would go Verlander too.
Because Scherzer, I'm just so like turned off after that. Yeah, pause. After game one of last season.
You're turned off. Yeah.
Okay. I was kidding. Anyways,
like, you're turned off. Imagine what I feel. I'm like,
but yeah, like I said, I would definitely go Scherzer game 2. And now, if you're the Mets, you're gonna need a game 3 starter. There's still not that you need. It's always good to have like a good, solid middle of the rotation type of guy, and that's where Senga.
Not gonna be Carrasco.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Carrasco. Absolutely not. Carrasco. And it's not going to be, you can't expect like David Peterson or McGill to somehow like, step up. You can't expect that. Can they? Sure. Okay. Roger, go ahead.
Just something I just recently read. Epler, he came out and said, we're looking for another starting pitcher. They're still in the, free agent market for that. They're still looking for a bullpen, like I said, or I wanted. And they still are looking for a replacement for Nimmo, or if not Nimmo himself, at the center field position. So they're still shopping around. Like, they're still making moves as they should, and they're still doing what they should do. But go back. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, anyways, there is one guy the Mets or Met fans would like to see the Mets trade for. I think you know who I'm referencing. The guy is a two-way player. Rodrick, how would you feel about the possibility of trading for Shohei Ohtani?
Well, I'll start with this. The GM said it's not going to happen, but he's lying. All right. Let me hold on. Let me just. All right. That's cap. All right. That straight baloney. All right. Well, it's really just what it would take, because obviously Ohtani's a great player, MVP. Going to be he's a great player. It's just what it would take, and off the top of my head, let's just say Angels give Ohtani and nothing else. All right? Ohtani's in one column. What they would have to receive. All right. Alvarez. That's the first thing. Number 1 prospect in baseball. Beatty, our number 2 prospect in our system. Mauricio, shortstop / third baseman. They'd probably take Jose Butto, our best pitching prospect. Probably take Kevin Parada, the guy we drafted last year. And it may even take Jet Williams, who's another upcoming shortstop / second baseman. And that's 6 prospects. Those are your 6 best prospects, if we're being real with each other. I know it might not be that in the rankings, but Jet Williams, first of all, I love Jet Williams. I'm really happy that we have him. But him, Parada, Alvarez, Beatty, Mauricio, and Butto. Would they take that? I don't even know. You might have to, give some more. So let's say a guy like, I don't know, Dom Smith, a first baseman / outfielder. Don't put him in the outfield. Do not put him in the outfield. But it's a first baseman, a lefty bat. Okay, maybe we're talking Mark Canha, because if you go out and you get a guy like Benintendi, somehow resign Nimmo, you might want to get rid of Canha. So now you have some big league talent. They're probably still going to want some pitching, because the Angels, their biggest need is pitching. They haven't had pitching since, I don't even know. But actually, that's a good question. Who was the last good Angels pitcher?
I think like really good? Like,
yeah, I think
what, like Jared Weaver? Like, I don't know. Like, that was like their last like pitcher that was like, they haven't.
Jared Weaver.
That's saying so, when he was like good, and he made the playoffs that one year and got swept, but still.
Fun fact: Charles made the playoffs one time in his career
and hasn't won a game. He hasn't won a game. They got swept against the Kansas City Royals.
Abysmal. Anyways, back to the Mets. Angels are a freaking joke. Anyways, back to the Mets. It would take those 6 prospects, Canha and maybe Dom Smith, and then maybe it might even take Escobar, which is just like, they might even want it would just take so much. But if you can find a way to keep Marte, if you can find a way to keep those core guys, I don't know, Russell. I might say yeah to that, because like Ohtani, now you have a 3-headed monster, which who wants to face that in the playoffs? JV and then Scherzer and then Ohtani. Just stay. Hey,
we haven't seen Ohtani in a big spot. So let's,
I think he'd handle it well. I think he could. But you're right. We haven't seen him in that spot yet. His team is awful. Anyways, I just don't like the Angels. I'm sorry. I don't know if I think it's coming across like that. I just don't like them.
It's
They just waste talent. Like, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track, but those three in a wild card, even a divisional series, you don't want to face that. That's the best pitching rotation. That's the best three-headed monster in baseball. You don't want to face that. Then you have Ohtani just as a bat. Like, and I just said, like, the right field fence is coming in. Could you imagine Ohtani hitting into the what's it called, Coca-Cola corner? That's scary. All right, I don't even want to know what happens there. Right center's pretty short too. Like, Ohtani would light it up, and I've seen all those jersey swaps in a Mets jersey. You know, keeps me awake at night. But pause. But that would just be a boost, and I hope that if it would have happened, there would be an interesting video that would need to be made. I'll just leave it at that. Probably on this table back here, and jumping jacks and whatnot.
If that happened, Rodrick's reaction. Oh my
gosh! I'd be like shotgunning beers and whatnot.
All right,
Steve Austin style.
So, looking at some contract details, so $43.3 million per year, and he has a full no trade clause. You're not gonna be able to trade him anyway, like with that contract. So I don't really think that does anything. But going on to this was before Verlander signed. It says the Mets need stability with stars in the rotation and with Carrasco and Max. Again, this was before Verlander, but the point still stands here. You can't expect to have an inside advantage on Ohtani, and can't wait while the Braves, Dodgers, steal your players now. Yeah. That is a good point. Like, even though you got Verlander, they can't stop now. Like, you got to make sure, like, the Rockies don't go ahead and sign Nimmo for some reason. You can't let these other teams go ahead and, take your players from you. You can't wait around. That's like what I'm saying, like with the Yankees too. They're just sitting there. They're waiting for Judge, and I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do.
They're just way too conservative. They have to be assertive. You want to get something in life, that goes for anything, be assertive. You know what I'm saying? Don't just wait for somebody to hand it to you. Right? Exactly.
And both teams weren't championship teams with the Yankees and the Mets. Both of them. So you still have other needs you have to fill besides, getting your other your own players back. You still have needs you need to fill. You can't be waiting on other guys and stuff like that. Like Nimmo, you shouldn't wait on him. So like, hey, go ahead and maybe try to sign Chafin or someone else or Senga. You should not be waiting on certain guys, just because, that's what the Yankees are doing right now. They're like, we're going to sit around and wait for Judge. And then whatever he does, and then next thing you know, they'll be left with scraps. You don't want it. You do not want that to happen. You want to improve the team now. You don't want to be dumpster diving.
Don't want to do that. Eric Kratz, baby. Miguel Andujar. I have a point I want to make right quick though about Mr. John Heyman. We hate him in New York and Flushing. We despise the guy. He can kick rocks. Leave it at that. Also, I want to just make this funny point that just popped in my head about 5 minutes ago. Remember 2020? Remember that year, Russell? COVID year? That was
fun. Of course. Yeah.
You remember a certain guy, I don't know if you know him, he used to pitch for the Reds, Sword, and, that guy. That Trevor Bauer guy. Remember when we were supposed to sign him? Remember that? Do you remember that? I don't know.
You guys dodged the bullet there. I remember he was doing all that trolling too. I thought he was going to go there.
Also, if he comes back from whatever, oh my gosh, and he's like still is really good. Like I think that might be I don't know. Maybe we did dodge a bullet, but I'm just saying, like, if you sign Bauer and let's just say his off the field stuff doesn't happen. Not signing JV right now. You're re-signed to Grom. Nimmo is a Met right now. Scherzer is in DC wasting away. And it's just funny how, like, looking back on things, like, how different things could really be if you kept Wheeler, kept Syndergaard. It's a lot of what ifs, which is not really that good to get into, the what ifs and whatnot. But That's something I wanted to say.
I would say Wheeler is definitely the one that got away for the Mets in terms of that's the one. Like looking back on it too, I remember when it happened. Met fans were not happy.
Even Mats too. Like Mats is him as a 3 or 4 or 5. I'd love that.
He would be a better 4 or 5 than Cookie Carrasco.
Yeah, I sign that every day. He's a lefty, brings a different dynamic. It's just another thing that came in my head. I know they're in division. Pablo Lopez. You want to talk about him for a little bit?
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Pablo Lopez, Marlins pitcher, number 49. The Mets lit him up when we played. I think he had like a 17 ERA at one point through like 4 or 5 starts. But they've been listening to everybody but Alcantara. Would you be interested, or just from a Yankees perspective, would you be interested in Alcantara? I mean, not Alcantara, Lopez.
Oh, I was about to say, who wouldn't be interested in Alcantara? But Lopez, yeah, I would, because when you look at the Yankees rotation, you got Cole, Cortez, and after that, it's like Talion's a free agent. I don't know what Talion's gonna do. I don't know if we're gonna re-sign him. So that obviously
the Mets almost got him. We tried to close a deal with him.
Really?
Yeah, that was a report that came out. We almost got him, but
what happened?
We were trying to close a deal with him, and then it just didn't work out, I guess.
So yeah, I think we probably won't re-sign him because I think he may get more money from another team.
From the Rockies, the Rangers.
Yeah, a team like that.
I'm gonna start hating those two teams. The Rockies.
The Rockies, they haven't done anything yet. The Rangers, on the other hand, I don't know. They're just spending like drunken sailors at this point.
And they have no direction. Like, anyways.
But yeah, going back on to Pablo Lopez, I would be interested. Yeah, I think he would be a good like.
You guys got him too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so it was him. It was like a Gleyber Torres swap. Apparently, we were close. We were very close, but the deadline hit, and then we just, it was. I think it was always weird too because with the Yankees, we traded Jordan Montgomery. Like it looks like a good trade now with Harrison Bader. We saw him during the postseason, but still, we traded a starter. Like a homegrown starter, mind you. The Yankees, we don't have a lot of solid homegrown starters. We don't. But you trade that guy, so it was kind of like, okay, we're expecting you to get a starter now. And I think maybe I don't like defending the guy, but Brian Cashman probably had this deal in mind for a while. I don't know what held it up or why they. Time was an issue.
That makes a lot of sense because looking back at it, why would you trade Montgomery if you didn't expect to get Lopez? You got Montas, which that was funny. But, if you get Cole, Cortez, Montas, and Lopez, that's a pretty good rotation. I know Montas isn't great, but as a 4, that's not
as a 4, yeah, I'd take him as a 4. I'd take him
as a 2 or a 3. Absolutely not.
Exactly. When we traded for him, he was like expected to be, like a 3, and like that's
honestly, that's like kind of the Oakland A's effect. I don't really want to get too deep into that, but him and Bassett,
Sonny Gray, these Oakland pitchers, man, they just can't.
It's so weird going from Oakland where you're pitching in front of literally nobody, and then you're in New York. Like, talk about a culture shift or culture shock.
Yeah. All right. So, Rodrick, is there any last points you would like to bring up?
Mets in 5.
Against who?
Everybody.
Okay. All right. I think we're just going to stop the video there. Anyways, if you guys can do me a favor, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video, unless like some more news somehow comes up about either
the Mets.
or that Aaron Judge, whatever. We'll be here. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice